All right, let's dive into the fascinating world of video games and how they impact our brains. Video games have become a huge part of modern life. Each week, people around the globe spend billions of hours playing them. This massive interest has led scientists to study how video games affect our brains and behavior. Today, we're going to explore these effects, looking at everything from cognitive improvements to potential downsides and therapeutic uses. Video games have really grown up from being just a niche hobby to a mainstream activity. Just think about it. Over 150 million people in the United States play video games regularly, which means they spend at least 3 hours a week gaming. It's not just kids and teens anymore. The average gamer is actually around 35 years old. In fact, about 72% of gamers are adults over 18. This shows that video games appeal to a wide range of people, not just children. When we talk about popular video games, a few big titles usually come to mind. In 2016, some of the top-selling games were Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare, Battlefield 1, and Grand Theft Auto 5. These games mostly fall into the first-person shooter and action-adventure genres. The first-person shooter genre puts players in a combat perspective from the first-person view, while action-adventure games mix action with storytelling and exploration. Together, these genres account for a huge chunk of game sales. Despite their popularity, these types of games often get criticized. Some people argue that the intense and immersive nature of these games can lead to increased aggression and reduced real-world social interactions. Critics worry that playing these games might encourage aggressive behavior or addiction. However, the research on whether video games actually lead to real-world violence is still not clear-cut. The link between video games and aggression has been debated for decades. Many studies have looked into whether playing violent video games leads to more aggressive behavior. Some research suggests there might be a connection, but it's not definitive. Many scientists haven't found a clear cause and effect relationship between video game violence and real-world violence. The tricky part here is distinguishing between correlation and causation. Just because players of violent games might show more aggression in certain situations doesn't mean the games are directly causing that behavior. Other factors, like personal traits, social environment, and existing tendencies, also play a role in shaping behavior. Recent research has been focused on understanding how video games affect brain function. There's growing evidence that video games can cause both functional and structural changes in the brain. Let's break down these changes. Several studies suggest that playing video games can improve certain cognitive abilities. One key area is attention. Gamers often show improvements in various types of attention. For instance, they might have better sustained attention, which is the ability to stay focused on a task over a long period. They also tend to have a better selective attention, which is the ability to concentrate on specific information while ignoring distractions. Gamers usually have more efficient brain regions involved in attention, meaning they need less mental effort to focus on complex tasks. Another cognitive area affected by video games is visuospatial skills. These skills involve understanding and remembering how visual and spatial elements relate to each other. Studies show that gamers, especially those who play action games, often perform better in tasks that require visuospatial skills. For example, long-term gamers might have an enlarged right hippocampus, a brain region linked to spatial memory. Video gaming can also lead to structural changes in the brain. Using techniques like functional magnetic resonance imaging, researchers have found that gamers often show increased activity and changes in brain areas related to visuospatial processing, memory, and decision-making. These changes likely result from the constant engagement and practice involved in gaming. A big concern with video gaming is the potential for addiction. There's something called internet gaming disorder, where people become so consumed by gaming that it interferes with their daily lives. Research shows that people with gaming addiction have changes in the brain's reward system, similar to other types of addiction. These changes include heightened activity in brain regions associated with pleasure and reward when exposed to gaming cues. This can lead to cravings and compulsive behavior. Understanding these changes is crucial for developing ways to address and prevent gaming addiction. There's been a lot of buzz about using video games for cognitive training, with claims that some games can boost cognitive abilities. But recent research has raised questions about these claims. Researchers from Florida State University have questioned the effectiveness of brain training games. They argue that the improvements promised by these games, such as better cognitive abilities, aren't backed up by solid scientific evidence. While brain training games might help with specific tasks, there's little proof that they lead to broader cognitive improvements, especially in older adults. Associate Professor Wally Boot and his team found that while brain training games can make players better at certain tasks, these skills don't necessarily transfer to other areas of life. For example, being good at a brain training game doesn't mean you'll have better memory or reasoning skills in other situations. The idea of far transfer, where learning skills in one area improves abilities in another, has been challenged by recent studies. While brain training games may improve performance in specific tasks, they often don't lead to significant improvements in general cognitive functions. This limitation suggests that while brain training games can be useful in certain contexts, their overall impact on cognitive health might be limited. Despite concerns about addiction and aggression, there's growing evidence that video games can offer benefits, particularly for older adults. Let's explore how video games can help with cognitive function and memory in older individuals. A study published in Nature looked at the effects of a specially designed 3D video game on older adults. The researchers found that playing this game led to significant improvements in cognitive performance, especially in areas affected by aging. Participants aged 60 to 85 who completed 12 hours of training over a month showed better game performance and improvements in working memory and sustained attention. These benefits lasted for at least 6 months after the training. This study suggests that video games can provide cognitive stimulation and help counteract some age-related declines. The complex and engaging nature of 3D games may offer valuable mental exercise. Another study from the University of California, Irvine examined the impact of 3D video games on memory formation. Participants who played 3D games showed a 12% improvement in memory test scores compared to those who played 2D games. The 3D games offer more spatial information and complexity, which seems to engage the brain's hippocampus more effectively and enhance memory performance. This research indicates that the immersive and challenging nature of 3D games can provide useful cognitive stimulation, particularly for tasks related to memory. Strategy games, which require planning, problem-solving, and critical thinking, have shown promise in improving cognitive function among older adults. These games push players to use higher-order cognitive skills, which can help maintain and even enhance cognitive abilities. Research suggests that strategy games might offer protective benefits against cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like dementia and Alzheimer's. Engaging in strategy games can keep the brain active and might provide cognitive benefits similar to physical exercise. Beyond cognitive benefits, video games are being explored as a potential treatment for mental health conditions, including depression. Some studies suggest that video games might have therapeutic effects, especially for people with mild cognitive impairment. Research has shown that video games can positively impact mood and emotional well-being. Games that are enjoyable and engaging can help reduce feelings of depression and anxiety. By providing an immersive and rewarding experience, video games may offer a temporary escape from negative emotions and contribute to overall mental health improvement. For individuals with mild cognitive impairment, video games might offer cognitive benefits that help maintain or improve cognitive function. Playing games that challenge memory, attention, and problem-solving skills can provide valuable mental exercise and support cognitive health. The study of how video games affect the brain is an ongoing field of research. While we've learned a lot, there's still much more to discover about how video games impact cognitive function, behavior, and mental health. Future research will continue to explore the different ways video games affect the brain. Scientists will look into the long-term impacts of gaming, including both positive and negative effects. They will also investigate the potential therapeutic uses of video games for cognitive and mental health conditions. As our understanding of video games evolves, it's important to balance their potential benefits with the risks. While video games can offer cognitive stimulation and therapeutic advantages, we must also be aware of potential negative effects and work towards managing them. Hey there, YouTube fans. Do you want access to amazing content? Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay updated with all our latest videos. Join our community of awesome subscribers. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.